Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're decoding one of the most fascinating and honestly highly accurate logistics systems on the entire planet. I want you to forget, just for a moment, about massive automated fulfillment centers. Forget about algorithmic route optimization and digital barcodes. Instead, we're looking at a completely zero-tech human supply chain, the legendary Dabbawala system of Mumbai. By following the incredible daily journey of a single veteran delivery man, we're going to unpack exactly how thousands of homemade meals are moved across a totally dense, chaotic megacity. And they do it with virtually zero errors, day in and day out. It's absolutely wild.
50. Yep, 50 years. That represents the 5 decades our 74-year-old veteran Dabbawala has spent perfecting his role in this astonishing delivery network. Think about the sheer depth of legacy knowledge embedded in that figure for a second. That's half a century of navigating incredibly narrow streets, boarding completely packed trains, and delivering lunchboxes with just remarkable accuracy. This isn't just a job, you know? It's a lifelong mastery of complex urban logistics, relying entirely on human memory, physical endurance, and a completely unbroken chain of trust.
Okay, let's dive into this. Section 1, the 5 a.m. first mile.
Now, to understand literally any supply chain, you have to look at its origin point. For the dabbawalas, the operation begins before the sun even comes up, kicking off an incredibly decentralized first-mile collection. It is an unyielding daily rhythm. At 5 a.m., the collection phase begins. Then, by mid-morning, the whole system transitions into a rapid sorting phase at local railway stations. Lunchtime? That is the absolute hard deadline for final office delivery across the city. And finally, by sunset, the entire logistics chain essentially runs in reverse to return the empty boxes. It's a strictly time-bound cycle, requiring totally perfect synchronization to ensure thousands of items hit their designated nodes right on schedule.
But what makes this 5 a.m. start so incredibly unique is the source of the product. The origin point for this massive logistics operation isn't a centralized warehouse, it's not a single commercial kitchen, it's thousands of individual family homes. Every single morning, families are packing fresh meals into identical stainless steel boxes, which are called dabbas. From a supply chain perspective, dealing with thousands of independent, highly variable origin points and ensuring they all enter the distribution network at the exact same time is a staggering logistical challenge.
Section 2, decoding the color matrix. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how they actually route these things. How do you make sure the right identical stainless steel box gets to the exact right desk in one of the world's busiest office districts? Well, it all comes down to the absolute brilliance of a zero-tech algorithm. Without a single digital barcode, RFID tag, or smartphone, the Dabbawalas achieve world-class sorting accuracy. They use a standardized system of painted colors, letters, and symbols right there on the lids of the lunchboxes. These markings basically function exactly like a modern shipping label or an IP address. At a glance, a Dabbawala can read the code and instantly know the neighborhood of origin, the specific train station it needs to be routed through, and the exact building and floor of its final destination. It is visual data processing at its absolute most efficient.
Which brings us to Section 3, the multimodal transit relay.
Let's move to this and see how this builds, because Mumbai's geography is notoriously congested. Relying on a single type of vehicle? Totally impossible. Instead, watch how they use a highly synchronized multimodal transit relay. Step 1 is the hyperlocal collection from homes, often done on foot or bicycles. Step 2 is the primary sorting hub, where lunchboxes are grouped by destination using those color codes we just talked about. This is basically a high-speed cross-docking operation happening right on the pavement. Step 3 utilizes the real backbone of Mumbai, the crowded suburban local trains. The Dabbawalas load the sorted crates onto the trains, treating the railway as their primary long-haul carrier. Finally, Step 4 is the distribution from the destination station using bicycles and wooden handcarts to weave through dense office districts. It's just a flawless series of synchronized handoffs.
And of course, we have to consider the environmental variables this supply chain operates under. Picture the ultra-realistic reality of the city. You've got the ambient sounds of railway announcements, bicycle bells, train doors opening, and whistles blowing. Then add heavy traffic, super dense crowds, and the intense torrential downpours of the monsoon rains. But despite these massive external shocks, the system maintains perfect punctuality. The resilience of this network comes directly from the sheer adaptability of the human workers. They simply refuse to let the elements disrupt the delivery timeline.
Section 4. Tradition versus modern tech. Now, no legacy system exists in a vacuum, right? As the city has grown and evolved, traditional methods inevitably intersect with modern disruptions. Today, this 50-year-old human supply chain operates right alongside a very, very different kind of network. On one side, you have the traditional Dabbawala network, human-driven, entirely zero-tech, and hyper-punctual, built entirely on decades of localized knowledge. On the exact opposite side, you have modern food delivery apps, driven by digital algorithms, powered by the gig economy, and entirely reliant on smartphones and GPS. Changing work habits and the convenience of these apps have absolutely altered the fast-moving rhythm of Mumbai, and it presents a completely new logistical paradigm for the city.
Yet the traditional network survives. Why? Because its core value proposition remains incredibly strong. First off, the personal service is completely untouched. There is a face-to-face relationship there that an app simply cannot replicate. Second, their commitment to extreme punctuality is legendary. They routinely match or even exceed automated estimates. And third, the system is built on a massive foundation of legacy network trust. People actually trust the Dabbawala with the food cooked in their own kitchens. They're relying on a real human bond rather than clicking accept on a digital user agreement.
Section 5. Delivering pieces of home.
And this brilliantly illustrates the most crucial segment of any logistics chain, the last mile. This is where all the routing, all the sorting, and that massive multimodal transit finally pays off. As our 74-year-old veteran finishes his day and the evening sun reflects off the Mumbai skyline, it really captures the emotional weight of his work. He isn't just moving inventory from point A to point B. The ultimate goal of this immense supply chain is a profound human connection. The cargo isn't just calories. It's a freshly made, tangible piece of home delivered right into the hands of someone working hard in the middle of a chaotic metropolis.
It's a really fascinating paradox to consider. We spend billions developing tracking software, automated vehicles, and these incredibly complex predictive algorithms to optimize how things move. Yet right here is a system that has functioned with near-perfect accuracy for over half a century using nothing but paint, bicycles, trains, and pure human dedication. As we look to the future of logistics, it leaves us with this final thought. In an age increasingly ruled by algorithms and apps, is it possible that the most resilient, reliable, and deeply trusted supply chain is actually still a purely human one? Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into Mumbai's incredible Dabbawala network, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.